25448 Dale Drive, Town of Waukesha. And I just wanted to say, the meeting went a little different than it did at the previous meeting, and my own fault for not understanding that you had citizen comments before Dunkin' Donuts presented. I know you voted. I had a few other things I wanted to add, and I'm disappointed there were people in the audience that are now leaving from Berkshire Senior Living that wanted to get up and speak, and a few other people that may have left thinking that they weren't able to make any comments. My throat is dry. I'm nervous, but I'm going to go through this. I wanted to reiterate, issue has always been about safety and traffic, always. And the gentleman here that got up and spoke last had said that the overflow of parking and our parking was generated by the business that's currently there, which I agree 100%. Adding a drive-through restaurant and several other businesses in that area, specifically the drive-through, is going to add to that traffic flow, to that safety issue. Moving the driveway up, as was possibly proposed, I do not think, and I spoke with a couple of the other people before they walked out, do not think that's going to help, only because now the traffic coming in off of Sunset is going to be going up that much farther. All that pedestrian traffic from the overflow is still walking across that place right there, and you have to take that into consideration. You also have a straight shot now all the way across the parking lot to where they're proposing the drive on Prairie. So cars aren't going to, they're driving straight through a parking lot. People are walking from St. Vincent de Paul, all these other businesses. They're going to park in one spot and walk to the businesses. They're not going to get in their car from St. Vincent de Paul and then drive to Dunkin' Donut. A lot of traffic walks from our strip over to St. Vincent de Paul as well. There's a lot of foot traffic there. And I'm not taking into consideration all the residents across the street. It is a residential area on the south side of Sunset. Granted, it is city. I don't think that should matter. We're neighbors. The traffic on Center has gotten a lot busier as well, coming up through there. Taking into consideration the speed limit, which is 35 until you get to Center Road. And if anybody's driven on there, you know nobody stops and goes 25 at that spot. They're all going a lot faster than that. And I would highly suggest, please take that into consideration. Also, when you had the map in front of you, the overhead view, which was presented on top, all of the accesses that come out on Sunset, there are two that accommodate the senior living. There are two that accommodate the shops on Sunset. The one in the back doesn't look like it gets a lot of traffic. Unfortunately, because that lot gets full, because there's only one access, many cars come in the main access. Either they can't park or they're down by the fitness center and they exit around the back of the building and come out the back, which is where they're proposing that second driveway, if it was put in, would come. So now you've got traffic that would be going that way. As you pointed out, if you couldn't get out a certain way, you'd go another way. There's several ways to get out as well. Does St. Vincent de Paul want people exiting behind their building, which is a possibility as well. They've got donation that comes off on Prairie. It also comes off on the access that goes out to Sunset. Excuse me. So I can't get out where I want to go. I might go behind the building and shoot out that way, especially if I might be going up Prairie, going north on Prairie. So you've got access going that way as well. I also wanted to take into consideration, the fact that there are at least, at this time, 14 Dunkin' Donuts in the southeast and northern Illinois area that are 24-hour. So once this is approved, possibly approved, what stops them from deciding, and it might not be in their plan now, but that doesn't matter. 2 years down the road, they might say, you know what, the gym is 24 hours, there's enough business, we're going to go 24 hours. What prevents them from doing that? And is that something that you would approve? I I don't want to speak for the residents across the street, but I'm thinking they wouldn't want that kind of traffic coming through 24 hours a day. Other than that, I think we've covered most of it. Again, it's always been the additional traffic, taking also into consideration the shops down by Target. That has tremendously increased the traffic on Sunset. I've been a resident for 20 years in this area. My kids have gone to school here. I've shopped in the area. Was excited when Target came in and Pick and Save came in, but that area is growing. They finished phase 2. What's phase 3 hold? You know, is there going to be a phase 4? How big is that area going to become? Again, that all contributes to the traffic in the little space that we're dealing with. It seems like it's just a 2-block area, but it's the entire street, and it really should be taken into consideration. Other than that, I think we've pretty much covered everything. I'm not opposed of a business going in. I just think with a multi-unit business with a drive-through in all of that area, using the same entrance that we showed on there, it's going to be very, very hectic and very busy, and it's going to be a safety issue. I'm hoping you will take that into consideration when you're, continuing to vote on this. Also looking at the clause my husband did bring up that, might have something to do with the drive-through that was not approved in 2004. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, I'm hoping you come and have an opportunity to park in that lot and just watch the traffic. Saturday is a busy day. 7 o'clock in the morning, huge busy between the gym and everything else that's going on there. Again, I had seniors walking their dogs at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's dark now at 6 o'clock in the morning. We do need to take into consideration the foot traffic that has increased quite a bit as well. And I know we want what's best for the town of Waukesha, so thank you again.
Further citizen comments this evening? Any topic? Second call.
Good evening. Sandy Hahn, West 230 South 3827, Milky Way Road. Had a couple concerns tonight. I'm interested in knowing, I know you can't directly answer any questions during this session, but I'm interested in knowing how much the town is in debt. I don't know if it's a lot, or if it's some, or if it's none. But if any of you have a precise dollar figure, and I don't mean the status of payables or anything like that, I mean true indebtedness, like loans, borrowed money, or outstanding debt, other than regular bills. As far as the ambulance fees being waived, I'm curious when we last had a request of that type. I know just a couple meetings ago we passed a new ordinance, or voted on a new ordinance. And I can't judge the veracity of either of these two claims, but I did look at them in the packet. And I know that the town board and the residents want you to find a way to accommodate these people, the ones that are truly in need. And what I haven't seen since the new ordinance was passed is any procedure for an applicant to document the worthiness of their need or demonstrate their hardship. So before approving any request for a waiver, I encourage you to develop such a procedure by which an applicant can prove their hardship, other than just writing a letter to whom it may concern. And at least one of the applicants provided some confirmation that they have been approved at 100% for community care, but the other applicant provided nothing other than a statement that they're unable to pay. And it seems reasonable to require some verifiable demonstration of income and cost of living. Certainly the applicant with community care did not get approved based on just saying, I'm unable to pay. So I hope you can table these requests until you can define a process, and then invite the applicants to resubmit their requests. And surely with those tools you'll do the right thing. I hope we can just have a nice meeting. Thank you very much for the time to address you.
Thank you. Other other citizen comments this evening? Anyone else with any other citizen comments? All right, we'll move on. We'll go to minutes. We have a number of minutes. The clerk's office has had the opportunity to catch up after the length of time that we had with elections and audit and such. So, Jamie, do you have specific measures, or does the board have specificity that they'd like to address these minutes?
Can I just ask a general question
Sure.
about the minutes, and maybe somebody can help clarify something for me? We had, I don't remember the exact date, but I know Supervisor Bansky, we had a dust-up about minutes a couple of meetings ago, and I thought your motion, which I didn't support, but was to do the most, I'll call them minimalist minutes that we could possibly do, and still comply with statutory requirements. Is that correct? Joe, am I correctly paraphrasing your motion?
I would want to read that again, Brian, before I...
Well, is it close? But my question is, I guess, we have some really comprehensive and detailed minutes, and I'm not complaining because I voted against it, but Thursday, December 27th, here I see under citizens' comments, and I'm not complaining, but it's over almost 3 pages, single-space type for a long time. I'm just looking for an explanation. I'm not complaining because I voted against it, and I thought your motion was do the absolute minimum we need to do. So
Yeah,
somebody help me.
I'm not sure, as you might recall, the discussion that was being held at that point was over the meeting minutes not being verbatim. There was back and forth over exactly who said what was in minute, 2 of 35 second through 2 minute of 57 second. There were requests being made at that meeting by supervisors to insert language that they had listened to on the recording that they wanted inserted into the meeting minutes. The meeting minutes have always been, well, Jamie has been our clerk to this level and this extent. From time to time, we have taken, in Jamie's office, she's taken this step to put verbatim minutes out, but the state clearly doesn't require that, and I just stated that there would be a motion that would allow the clerk and her staff the ability to have flexibility. So there's clarification, verbatim minutes aren't required. These minutes are certainly descriptive, certainly take the tone and tenor of the meeting, and the clerk is at her leisure able to direct her staff as to what she believes captures the tone and tenor of the meeting. Prior to Jamie, the prior clerk for the town of Waukesha, you can look at these minutes, says discussion was held, a vote was taken. That happened for several months. So we can go to a discussion was held, and a vote was taken, and you can try and read those minutes and find out what was the board thinking, what were they saying, and we can have these. I choose these.
I'm not complaining, and let's move on, but I thought at that meeting you said let people go to the audio tapes because that's what they're there for. So I'm not
Well, you
complaining.
were
I think these are
complaining that
great.
night, and that's why I made the motion, because you were complaining, and Mr. German was the other one who was stating specific areas of tapes that you wanted inserted in meeting minutes. You were presenting those at the meeting, wanting us to just accept that what you were presenting was now verbatim, which delayed those meeting minutes. That same meeting, we denied a set of meeting minutes based on a no vote that came through. Now those meeting minutes can't even be taken up for months.
Okay, so I guess my simple question, do you like what we've got before us tonight?
Always have.
Okay, thank you.
Just to wrap up, the clerk's office has flexibility given the motion that was approved on, I believe, January 24th. The clerk's office, and specifically Jamie, has very thorough clerk treasurers, and so I think even Jamie's minimalistic minutes are still very robust. And I applaud the office for providing minutes that do capture the important components of what happened at the meeting. The digital recordings are always available. So this is the production of minutes, and hopefully you'll find them acceptable, and we can get them approved and get them on the website so that people can see definitively what we have. All of these minutes include the check detail and check register, basically, on what expenses were approved, and I know there's been requests for that information that can always be asked of the clerk's office, but certainly having the minutes take up on the website will answer those questions as well. So are we taking these individually, gentlemen, or are we grouping them? Or Jamie, you have some limitations based on who's here?
I do. I have grouped them for everyone that was attended each meeting, and then broke out, there was additional 3 where there were supervisors that were not in attendance. So I can read them all if you'd like to do so.
Well, let's just ask before, if the last time we tried to do this, there was some objection. Does anyone object to doing grouped minutes based on attendance? Okay, hearing none, let's hear the grouping, Jamie.
Okay. For the minutes, move to approve the December 5th, 2012, December 19th, 2012 closed session, December 27th, 2012, January 10th, 2013, January 16th, 2013 closed session, and the January 24th, 2013 minutes as submitted. All of board members were present.
So that's A, B, D, E, F, and H.
Also,
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have one clarifying piece on the December 27th meeting minutes. On page 5, it reads, Supervisor Bansky stated he will support the motion. He stated because Attorney Lang is the specialist representing us in this matter and has worked with a similar case such as the town's, and it was his recommendation, his draft, to send the letter. I don't believe the word draft is necessarily what was said. I believe
He reviewed that draft.
yes, that it was his draft work.
Yes.
It wasn't something that we had drafted, it was his letter, and that he supported us sending the letter.
Yes.
That wording there, that piece is a little clumsy, and I'd just like that cleaned up to represent, either we go back to the verbatim of that section, or I would accept putting in something that says that it was Attorney Lang's drafted letter that I support signing.
Is there any question on that, clarification? All right, I'll allow the clerk to make that change. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, Jamie, next step.
Approve the December 26th, 2012 closed session minutes as submitted. Supervisor German would abstain.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All those who'd like to approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey.
Very, what's next?
Approve the January 23rd, 2013 closed session minutes. Supervisor Fisher would abstain.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the January 30th, anybody that needs to abstain?
Supervisor German
Need to
left
abstain?
him in the middle, so.
Okay, so he would abstain in this case? All right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, fully carries. All right, we'll move on to Plan Commission